we are back working on our little miniature house. We started last time and did not get as far as what I thought we were going to. Basically, we did this little part of the wall and a couple windows. Most of last time was me just trying to decipher the instructions. So I'm hoping today we get a little bit farther. Today, I am hoping that we can get this wall structure done, the floor done, and then the back wall done. And if we are lucky, we are going to be able to move on to the next page. I was a little bit smarter today and I pulled out all of the things that we were going to need to start. It's like we're wrapping this entire piece of wood in the wallpaper. I think I need a little bit more glue just along this to keep it in. Okay, so now this wall is now done. We have like a marble look on one and then like a half and half on the other. I'm gonna set this aside to dry, and then we need to get into the next little wall piece we needed to do, which was this little guy. Now that the two walls are done, this one had the same fold as the other one did, so this one went on so much easier. But now that these two are done, we have to get started on the floor, which I am kind of nervous about, but it's gonna make it actually look like a house. What's really nice about this bottom floor pattern is they actually have markings on this to show you where other pieces are supposed to go. But it's really nice because it actually shows a couple of them. So this is now cut out. For a half a second, my brain was trying to figure out which way I should glue this on, and then I realized it doesn't really matter. I can just rotate it once it's on. And making sure I do a little dot at each of the corners so the corner stays down. And let's get this on. I think I did a pretty good job. What we are going to use is this little wallpaper to get all the bubbles out and to make sure everything is flat and even down. Okay, it is looking pretty good to me. I don't want to lift it up yet. I want to give it a couple more minutes to like dry and firm up. What we have next is lights. I will absolutely 100% admit I am not an electrician, and trying to do working lights in a miniature build, especially my first miniature build, I don't think is something I want to do. So we are not going to do functional lights. I'm still going to hang them up. They're still going to look pretty. They are just not going to turn on and off. We have C64 is a little bead. C63 is a little wall mounting. And then we need C41, which is like a little black wire. Getting this little light together took so long because there's not wire in there. There's just so much open space. So I like really struggled to get the glue to stay. It is so wet right now. Like we're just gonna leave it to dry. Next is this back wall. So on this back wallpaper, there's like a really thin sliver of like the palm tree, which I'm assuming is going to sit like there-ish. We will see. Okay, so now we have most of this cut out. I just need to figure out how we're going to get this part out because it does look like we need to have that hole cut out. So we are using a popsicle stick. I mean, it is a straight edge and that's basically all we are needing right now. Oh my God, this is so much easier. Why haven't I been using this to cut out all of these designs? Remind me when I go to cut up the next one to use my X-Acto knife. Should I have been using a knife the entire time? Do other people use X-Acto knives and I just wasn't thinking? Now we are gonna glue this onto here. So the one thing about this glue is it gets very stringy sometimes, so it does feel like your hands are wrapped in spider webs occasionally, but it does work wonders, so I'm gonna keep on using it. Okay, I'm gonna leave this to dry and see what we have next. It looks like we're doing the windows next and trying to do the lamp. If you are dry, are you dry at all? Yeah, you're 90% dry. I just don't know which direction they go in. I think they'll go like this. Yep, that makes way more sense. First window is in. It did get a little bit of glue on it, so our windows are gonna be a little dirty. They are slugs. It is hard for them to clean the windows. Okay, let's get on with the second window. A little bit of extra glue kind of ran over on a few of these, but that is fine. That is what we have scrap paper for is to wipe off excess glue. Okay, so the next step is to glue this little decal piece onto the side of this wallpaper right here. It is like so tiny, and it is C33-4, and I spent 10 minutes looking through everything I could possibly think to look through, like all of these decals, all of this, like trying to find C33-4. And then finally, my brain made the connection that, hey, why don't I check the cutting templates? And yes, that is where it's been. I have been searching this entire time. When it is on directions, it's just not on obvious directions. This way down here is what we're gonna be cutting out of this guy. See, this is why I readjusted my expectations, because I was thinking that this was gonna be so easy. We only had a few things to put together, no big deal. It has been an hour. We have been working on this for an hour again. All of that for just that little decal. I hope you're happy, little decal. Now let me get this area cleaned up before we move on to the next thing, because this is already getting a little messy. Next, we are actually finally doing the walls. So this guy is gonna go onto this guy, and we gotta figure out what glue we're gonna use. Before I put the wallpaper on, I would have said wood glue, but I'm not quite sure now. Maybe tacky glue again. I'm going to do the clear gel, because that just seems like it has a harder stick than the tacky glue. That is not the right word. I know that's not the right word, but my brain could not think of the correct word. Sturdier stick? No. Grippier stick? Maybe. This can go on here. I'm just using 2 glue bottles to hold that in place, because next we are gonna have to put this guy on. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of this gel glue along the bottom. Here we go. Now I can just hold all of this in place for a few minutes while it's drying. I'm really hoping I am holding everything at the correct angles, because that would be rather unfortunate if I have kind of a wobbly build. Okay. The last piece we are gluing in is a 40, which is gonna go like right here. That was definitely not at 90 degrees. You guys should have told me. Mr. Slugley should have told me. He's supposed to be the supervisor on this. So this is what our build is currently looking like. I think it is looking so good. It took forever. I have been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes. So this very, very, very slow moving. And that's fine. We knew it was gonna take a bit. The next step we are doing is the little kitchen, which we have to put together all of those counters before we can even think about actually putting it into this area. Okay, so yeah, this is taking a lot longer than expected, but I am really liking how it turned out. Kitchen counters are next. Hopefully we do not lose our minds trying to put together these little kitchen counters, but the fact that they have little spatulas on their wall and have a little egg in the pan frying is like the cutest thing in the entire world. So we have that to look forward to next time. I am going to leave it here though.